And so I talk to prophets, as I often do, and I'd say, when you were with Clement, do you remember him saying this? He prophesied about a new party arising, the American Party. He said it by name. I'm going to show you the segment. 2013. And then Elon Musk goes and posts, we need the American Party. 80% of the people on X are saying yes. Well, we don't need to divide Trump's base, but it's in the air. Just like I told you, as we're going to the BRICS thing in July, you know what the BRICS thing is? That's when Russia and Brazil and the communist Chinese and the communists in Brazil and the commissars in Russia and India, who says they're our friend but wants to really dominate the world. Let me tell you something. They're going to try to figure out how to destabilize and dethrone and decouple from the dollar. I told you, you got to get your report. Get your report from me. If you had listened to me 2 years ago, every dollar you put into gold would be at 73% more value. 73%, Lance? And I'm smacking myself in the head because I didn't do what I should have done. I'm telling you what to do. But I had to squirrel away a few nest eggs with Annabelle and roll over some IRAs and do what we can because it was 46% increase just in the last 14 months. In gold, get your report, folks. Find out about the different way gold works. Different kinds of precious metals, how the report, just get the information. My people perish for lack of knowledge. LanceWallnau.com/gold. I'm not going to mention it again for the rest of the broadcast. LanceWallnau.com/gold. You'll have peace of mind. You'll be the smartest kid on the block. Let's get into today's news. The summer of love is upon us. The weather's clear. It's time for riots. And what I want to deal with now is the unspoken truth that needs to be spoken clearly, because Rush Limbaugh used to call him the low information voter. That is the person who's kind of tuning in superficially to the news cycle and kind of thinks they know what's going on, but they don't really know the details. When it comes time for elections, they're not really following anything until Labor Day. This is a fact. And then after Labor Day, what is that, September or so, October and November, they're into the election cycle. So this is just the way human beings are. People are busy. They got lives, and they're not, and frankly, if you're smart, you don't live addicted to every flippin' social media news cycle that wants to traumatize you. Never forget, advertising drives all media. Everything you watch is motivated, funded, and rewarded by getting advertising revenue. So therefore, when there's bad news, calamity, hair on fire, breaking news, it produces more eyeballs, more attention, more traffic, more people for the products, more sales. So there's a built-in kind of a cyclical nature to news, and that is that the more extraordinary it is, the more revenue it drives the platform. But be that as it may, I think every now and then, Carl, it might behoove people to do, you're kind of in this space of health and peak performance. Don't you think that a media fast, a social media fast, a purge, if you will, of exposure to stuff could be beneficial to performance for people that are really seeking balanced lifestyle and peak performance?
Undoubtedly. Doing a dopamine cleanse or a screen cleanse of your life can absolutely help reset you, recalibrate you back to baseline. We're so inundated with news cycles, with fear. Anxiety is just paying a fear tax that may never come due. And with these warmongering, these fear-mongering on all of the major legacy platforms, it really would behoove you to spend some time away from that, for sure.
And having said that, I do believe we're on the brink of nuclear war. So I want to get your attention on a couple of subjects. But I want to do it in a balanced way. A friend of mine said recently that she and her mother stopped talking. She couldn't talk with her anymore because her mother was, I don't know where the Q, don't go crazy on me now, all you Q addicts out there, but I don't know where the Q cul-de-sacs are that are talking about the that 6 million Jews weren't killed by Germans. That was all fake news. And that the whole idea that the Holocaust didn't happen. And so gal is talking to her mother, and her mother's going off on this Q stuff about the Holocaust didn't happen. And she told her mom, she said, after a couple of conversations like the world is flat and stuff like that, and JFK Jr. is alive, waiting, somewhere, to run for president or something.
Wait, he's not?
He's not.
That can't be true.
He's not alive. So here's the point. She told her mom, I fear not only that you're losing touch with reality, but you're in you're losing your daughter. And I can deal with you losing touch with reality. This isn't dementia. This is just you listening to crazy stuff and you're believing it, and it's 24/7.
Yeah, it's not dementia. It's delusion.
Yeah, delusion, right?
Delusion, yeah.
So she says to her, she goes, but Mom, if you love me and you want to have a relationship with me, I beg you, fast. Do like a couple of days, do a week fast on all your social media. Don't go there. And let's see if we can get some oxygen back in our relationship. And sure enough, her mother was normal. At the end of 5 days, her mom did a social media cleanse. Kind of like a colonic. So in the meantime, my job is to put the snorkel on and dive into the sludge for your sake, to give you as best as I can an understanding of what's out there. And I bring with me the profound prophetic perspective. That is, I have a master's degree in theology, and it's my background along with business. Business and theology is my two things. And studying this theology has given me a worldview on what's happening, but I bring a prophetic perspective as well. Now, for instance, years ago, I remember before Donald Trump came down the escalator in Trump Towers, that Kim Clement and I, this South African prophet that I traveled with, that I was on his board, and we were probably as closest friends as he has in his inner circle. And he said he had sent me a prophecy that before Trump came on the scene, where the Lord said, I am dissatisfied with both parties. I am dissatisfied with the Republicans and the Democrats. What I'm about to do will be a shock to the Republicans, and it will be explosive and offensive to the Democrats. And then the prophecy goes, I was talking about, and I thought when he said it, well, how could God raise up a third party? No third party ever in American history has succeeded, because all of the entrenched money and power and infrastructure is in the two legs of the Democrats and the Republicans. Third parties can sway the outcome like Perot did with Bush and Clinton. But we don't have a third party that actually has taken over. So here's the thing. Huh?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
DNC is on their way out, so third party's on the rise.
But what Kim was prophesying was that there would be an American party that would rise up. That's my point. Now, Trump comes down the escalator, and he becomes the MAGA version. It's not called the American Party yet, but it's the MAGA movement, Make America Great Again. It's simply, hey, let's get our act together. We're doing a lot of stupid stuff we don't need to do, and it's suicidal, self-sabotaging, and systemic. Let's stop that. And so Trump comes down with common sense. I mean, just a businessman's bluntness. And I would say he was an instrument that God raised up in answer to the prayers of people for an agent that's like Halley's Comet, comes by every 1,000 years. And you need this guy now because he's a holy disruptor to the status quo with grounded, sound policy like a businessman. Having said that, Kim prophesied the American Party. Then I found this other prophecy that Kim had given, and I'm going to play for you in a second, which is about in 2013, he's predicting this. Obama's in office. He's saying there's coming an American Party. But what blew my mind was, and I'm surprised that nobody jumped on it, because I thought people were tracking with what Kim said. Elon Musk, in the midst of his kerfuffle with Trump, posts that we need the American Party. He says 80% of the people on his platform are saying both parties are dysfunctional. It's time. Yep. Is it time? Go to image 22, guys. Is it time to create a new political party in America and actually represents the 80% in the middle? 80% said yes. And then the next his response is the America Party. The people have spoken. A new political party is needed in America to represent the 80% of the middle. The America Party. Now play what Kim prophesied in 2013.
There's an American party that's emerging. A party that's going to outdo the Republicans and the Democrats. A party that's going to stand up for what is right. Of course, they'll have flaws, but you can see the disintegration of and the discord that's taking place in this nation. That's coming to an end. Maybe it'll take longer than you think, but it's there. It's like John the Baptist in the womb of Elizabeth, leaping when Christ comes into his presence in the womb of Mary. What made him leap? The presence of Christ. Listen, that's important because they weren't born yet. There are unborn things at this very moment that we need to realize, even though you cannot see them, they are present. You cannot see a child except for the fact that you can hear the heartbeat nowadays and you can see the mother growing and so on, but you wouldn't know. But there are things present today that are not yet manifest, that will yet come, and it takes a prophetic eye to know what they are.
And that was 2013, dare I say, 2 years later. The beginning of the American Party came down that escalator. Trump remade the Republican Party, created a new working class, middle class coalition, which is why it's so mischievous that we're dealing with the union leaders organizing in L.A. ICE resistance and protests. The working class should recognize Trump as their hero, except when they're in the pocket of the donor class, the billionaire, multimillionaire ideologues who are the Marxists, who are intent on taking America down and opposing Trump while they do it. What's going on in California right now is a taxpayer-funded riot, which is really not even a people movement like they're saying, but it's an activist movement. I've got the organizations and the funding in my hand right now, thanks to the courageous journalism work of Jennifer Van Laar. We have the receipts, people. I've got 3 of the organizations that are behind the LA riots. I've got their budgets. I've got the organizations. I've got who's paying them and how much they're getting paid. You don't want to miss the disclosure of the machine behind the anarchy. We're finally cracking the code. We're going to show you that in the next episode. God bless.
We're entering a period of time that has increased hostility against people of faith. It's a time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral, physical, psychological, and even a financial basis. I'm here to remind you that God is the one who has blessed you thus far, and he will take care of you in the future. You have a divine responsibility, however, to see trouble and prepare yourself. For example, with record inflation eating away at the value of the US dollar, the savings in your retirement account is in danger of slipping away. I recommend diversifying your 401k or IRA out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Now that includes no penalties, there's no taxes when you transfer current retirement funds into Birch Gold. To see how it works, I want you to go to lancewallnau.com/Birch and get your free info kit, and you'll be glad that you did.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better.